Hello, everyone. Welcome to week two of 2023's podcast. I'm Trina with Tailor Made Guide Lifestyle Blog. And as you know, I am about influencing, impacting, and influencing your life so that you live your best life that's for you. Um, Last week on the 3rd, we talked about balance. And I hope those of you who saw um, the podcast last week got a chance to take a look at the 5 areas that I talked about, which was self, work, family, couple, and play, and where you are and where you want to be eventually in your life to have a little bit more balance in your life, right? This week, we're going to talk about creating your 2023 self action plan, self care action plan. And again, let's start with welcome to Tuesdays at 2 with Trina of Taylor Guy Lifestyle Blog. Catchy, right? So, but again, recapping last week was on your 5 sections of areas that you can create balance and for your life. Again, that was self, family, work, play, and couple time. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're not in a couple, that's okay. You can dedicate more time to self or family, or if you want to work more, whatever it is. But it's finding the balance that's right for you right now. Everybody's not, we don't have couples or we don't have a lot of playtime, whatever it is, but try to find the balance that works just for you, right? Okay. Not sure if talked to you last week. I started to go gray, as you can see. I was tired of dyeing the hair. It was driving me nuts. And so I decided to just let go and let nature take its course. So hope that you all like the gray. But so this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to create your 2023 self-care action plan. And there's not just self-care, it's not just oh, I take a spa day and want to get a facial and I just got a napped and that's it. There's far more involved in self-care with regards to your life, your whole life. And with that being said, you know, self-care is intellectual, it is emotional, environmental, occupational, physical, spiritual, financial, and community. And so we're going to dig into that a little bit more today so that sometimes we never think about that, those different aspects of our whole life. And those extra sections are very important because they encompass all of who we are as an individual, right? Who we are as individuals. So intellectual, um, I want to cover some things. So just give me a moment to pull up some things regarding this, okay? And I just wanted to bring you some tips or the ways that you could for your personal. I mean, these are all for me, for mine, um, and they're growing. They're always ongoing. It's an ongoing thing. So for me, um, as far as intellectual self care, that means taking time to read something and learning something, you know? So always growing and changing. That's so important to who you are as an individual because you're not the same as when you woke up this morning. If you are breathing, you change, right? So reading and learning something new. Set aside some time each day to explore something new, to read something, to learn something different. Um, Take a class, something that you might be interested in. Um, who knows what it could be? It's where you are right now in your life. Um, challenge yourself. Um, you want to learn a different language. Um, you want to um, achieve something. Task yourself to something that you really want to achieve. Challenge yourself to do something that you've put off because you thought it was too difficult or whatever the reason may be. Take time to reflect. Um, Set aside time each day to think and reflect on what you've been learning. That's a good thing because sometimes, the thing I tell people that I'm talking with is even like, let's say you're in a couple relationship, you're in a couple, or just in your family, whatever it may be, you're going to change no matter what. And so when you involve the people that you care about with your growth, they're going to help you instead of hinder you, right? So have the conversation. I learned something new today. I really think I like it. What do you think? Would you like to join me? Or ask them about something that they're growing from and learning from. Okay. Um, Practice problem solving. That's a good one. Whether it's doing puzzles or riddles, reading different things that help you break down like what's going on, and that kind of stuff. That's really good right there. Um, Talk to um, someone in your field or something, or play something that you're interested in, a hobby or whatever it may be. Hobby where you want to go, you want to learn, you want to get your advanced degree, whatever they may be, right? Um, Attend lectures, seminars, um, webinars, whatever it may be, conferences that's related to something that you want to do. Go to your library. I know here in Dallas, one of the things we have several exhibits that's here that we have. The Declaration of Independence is here, seventh floor in Dallas. We have it here. The Shakespeare. Um, you'd be amazed that back in the day they were really little people, and they've got on the seventh floor is dedicated to those particular exhibits. Um, so think about your library and what it has to offer you as well. Listening to podcasts, different points of view. Journaling is another one. Join a book club. And if you're feeling still a little bit iffy about um, COVID, find a group that meets online and does it via Zoom. So that's just as far as intellectual is concerned, right? Um, then environmental. Um, One of the things you can do for me, again, this is my list of what I'm doing. Reduce consumption of resources such as water, electricity, and fuel, reducing how much you're using, right? Something that as a Girl Scout leader, I have gone through and taught my girls the very thing about recycling. Buy local, right? Um, Recycle, reuse, repurpose things, support businesses and organizations that are economically friendly, avoiding toxic chemicals and things like that. Plant a garden, community garden, your own garden. I live in an apartment, so I have a small one on my patio. Um, Using renewable energy if you can, right? Travel less in your car if possible. Sometimes one of the things that we do, my daughter and I, instead of taking the car to fun activities, we'll take the train, right? Um, Supporting environmental organizations is a really great way. Then educating yourself on everything that's going on in the environment. So that's two. So let's keep going. So occupationally, um, when you create that self-care action plan, it's important to stay it helps you manage your stress better, improving your performance, um, helping you to maintain a healthy work-life balance, taking regular breaks. One of the things I started doing with my Fitbit is at the top of the hour. Since COVID has joined our lives, um, at the top of each hour, I have it set to go off each hour, and I get up and move instead of sitting at my desk and being so sedentary. And I'm trying to avoid that and get up and move more in 2023. But I started this when COVID started. We were at home working. But if you set your Fitbit um, tracker to going off every hour and get up and just walk away from your desk, if it's a brisk walk around your street, down the street, what have you. If it's weather does permit or does not permit, I have a square living room, and so I'll walk, around my table just to get up and walk around. I'll do a chore, whatever that may be, to get physical, right? Um, find an activity that helps you relax and de-stress. Yoga, reading, you know, getting enough sleep, of course, that's a given, of course. Because when you get enough sleep, you have the energy to go out and do the job and the work that you get up, you got to go function. Who wants to function when you're sluggish and you're sleepy? So that's not easy to accomplish trying to get the sleep that you need. I've suffered from insomnia for a long time, and I've gone through so many things to help me, a tea, white noise, no TV noise, whatever it may be. But you got to find the thing that works for you. And so it's easier said than done, of course. Um, eating a balanced diet. Some of these things are just things that you already know. But just for me, it's just kind of bring it to the forefront to refocus yourself to get back on track. You know what I mean? Um, connect with supportive people in your life. Find a mentor. Um, in your job and outside of your job, just finding that support group, finding your village, whether that village is at work, in the industry that you work in, whatever it may be. Setting reasonable expectations of yourself and others. None of us are perfect. We're all flawed, and make sure that they're reasonable. Don't ask someone to, even if yourself, do something you're not ready to, you're not equipped to do. So make them reasonable. Prioritizing planner, maybe your tasks. Um, focus on the most important ones. If you're familiar with the soul Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about prioritizing the most important things at that moment. That if you don't tend to it, it will just disintegrate that moment. Focus is there, right? And sometimes you have to tell people, your emergency is not mine. If I choose to sit down and get pen to paper and put it down and map out what's important, then you can do the same thing. Ask for help. Ask for help. Stop trying to be the martyr and the hero. Forget that. Mm. Find ways to recognize and reward yourself for a job well done. And that doesn't mean go out and splurging on big ticket items or large amounts of food or things like that. But find a way. Whether you're gonna treat yourself to a movie, you're gonna have an extra whatever 15 minutes of this, whatever it may be. And then taking care of your physical health, right? All right. Community. Almost very similar to environmental. Um, but your community where you live, making sure that you are taking part in that community, that you're volunteering in it. We work, play, everything is about our community. So taking the time to know your community. What are your city officials? What are they focusing on in your community? Do you have those environmental things in place? Do you know if you have children in the school area, in the school district? what's going on in school. That is very important to know, like the elderly, the children. Um, if you have uh, less than honorable people living among you, how to teach your children and your family, be prepared and guard yourself against things that could possibly harm you. But identifying the needs in your community. What are the needs that your community need? That they're missing. Identify that and help that out in any way possible that you can. Sometimes, often people want to be a part. They want to benefit, but they don't want to take part in the making and creating the plan and the solution to it. So, you know, um, what is it again that you want for your community where you live? You want it to be clean. You want it to be safe. You see, if you're the person that needs help, then help as well, right? So there's so much more I can go in on that. It's very personal for me, um, because it's where you live and you want your family to thrive in that community that you live in. So doing your part in your community is super important. Um, emotional, emotional self-care. Determine your triggers. Identify situations and people, places, things that cause you stress and create havoc in your life, and start to work your action plan based on that. Practice mindful breathing. When you feel like you're getting upset, stop and start to breathe. Most people think, oh, it's not going to do any good. But once you get that 10th breath in, you start to feel your body deflate, you will see that it is working and it's worth it, you know? Um, Again, it's making time for yourself emotionally. For me, um, getting in the shower and just letting kind of releasing is really important for me. It works for me. You got to find that thing that works for you. I enjoy crying because it helps me release. Um, Getting organized. Create a system for organizing your day, your week. Um, find a time so you have downtime to just be. Nurture relationships with your family, coworkers, um, your community. Everything's about networking in a lot of situations. And when we nurture all the different relationships that we are in, it's easier to have the conversations if something starts to go awry, if you have built relationships with everyone that's in your community, your village, if you will. Exercising, of course, releasing the anxiety, getting it out of your system, taking a walk. That's always one of the best ways for me. Eating healthy, when I'm not all sluggish and bogged down with heavy foods. Um, you feel just kind of drained. That can do a number on your psyche, your emotional state too, because you won't be able to pick yourself up if you're not eating healthier. Um, Again, hydrating. As we know, our body's made up mostly of water, and when it's dehydrated, it can cause us to get sick, headaches, pass out, all sorts of things. So just being mindful of that. Next, we're going to cover your physical well-being and self-care action plan. Again, we go back to eating healthy diet, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, of course. Take breaks. That's really, really big. It's huge. Drinking plenty of water, spending time out in nature, getting out, um, taking in the grass, the trees, the sun, um, just the environment itself. Practicing yoga or Pilates, taking care of your skin, all of that. Meditation, it's all so important. I think I've covered all of my sections. I hope that I have. I hope that you got something from this and that you really take it to heart and work on you, being the best you can be, bettering your best. Um, you are the most important person that you know. You are the VIP and the MVP, and taking care of yourself is vitally important. You know the thing when you take a plane ride and say put the mask on yourself so that if something happens to one around you, you can help them. Well, it's the same thing. You got to take care of you, and creating an action plan, setting boundaries is key to you getting started, if you will, to living the best life you can be, bettering your best, and thriving. I hope that this was helpful, and a lot of it is repetitive that you already know, but just getting you in the mindset now. Set your plan right now. It's January. It is the 10th, and it's not too late to get started. Grab your pen and paper and downtime to go reflect and think about those areas: intellectual, emotional, environmental, physical, spiritual. Um, I didn't cover the spiritual part, but I think just finding your center and finding whatever it is that you practice and making that a priority in your life. That for me, spiritual is everything. It trumps pretty much everything else for me. But everyone has their own how you your faith, how you pray, meditate, what have you. So have a fantastic day and thank you for tuning in with me, Trina, with Taylor May Guide at 2 o'clock today. Have a great one. Bye.